East Blue, the weakest of all the seas and the first introduced in the story, is going to be the start of my journey covering every single island in One Piece. To help reach that goal, I've divided them into three types: named islands, unnamed islands with named locations, and islands with no names associated. Starting with the named islands, doing so in chronological order. The first location seen in One Piece, as we all know, is, no, not that one. Yeah, that's right. Polestar Island's home to Logtown, the town of the beginning and the end. And while I could dedicate a whole video to this island alone, as with most in One Piece, and might do so in the future, this video can't be 10 hours long, so I'm going to try breezing through them. We're back to Dawn Island, home to Windmill Village, Goa Kingdom, and more. The setting of the second longest flashback in the story and the first chapter of the story as well. Plus, with it being where Luffy was raised, that alone would make it notable. But if the name Dawn Island didn't hint at this island having more to it, I don't know what will, but that's for another video another time. Goat Island, home to the base of the Alvida pirates appearing in the second chapter of the story. If you don't recognize it, you might have started One Piece with the anime. But with Kobe following us to the next island, everyone should be familiar with Yotsuba Island, Shells Town, and the 153rd Marine Branch being its main locations. It introduces the Marines into One Piece and serves a very important function in the story. Organ Islands, while it might be an archipelago, technically a collection of islands. For the purposes of this series, I'll just consider archipelagos one island, unless the islands composing it have names of their own, or the amount of islands in it are stated. But with this being Buggy's arc, let's leave before he steals the show. The Island of Rare Animals, home to Oda's favorite character, Gaimon. While the Straw Hats only spent a single chapter on this island, it lives within the hearts and minds of all of us. Gecko Islands, Syrup Village, being its prime destination, and the base of the legendary Usopp pirates with a legion of over 80 million men, making it by far the strongest force in the world. Kumite Island, the first named island introduced in a cover story, but with its name coming from a non-canon source, it's up for debate whether it's named or unnamed. Nonetheless, it's the birthplace of one of the strongest captains in history, Richie the Lion, and the Kumite tribe which the island was named after. The longest time spent on any East Blue Island obviously belongs to the Konomi Islands, being the setting of the most iconic arc in the East, Arlong Park. Mirror Ball Island, the first island in this video introduced after the East Blue saga, and the East Blue's most popular destination, home to Doskoi Panda, the foremost brand when it comes to fashion in One Piece. Going over 700 chapters into the future, all the way to Whole Cake Island, we get to see how Sanji got to the East Blue and the island he landed on before boarding the orbit, with it being named Kojia. For the first island not introduced in the manga, it's debatable whether it's entirely canon or not, but revealed in Ace's novels, we got Six's Island, where Ace got a hold of his devil fruit. With the 12 named islands in the East covered, only 4 were named in the manga, with the rest being named in outside material. Only 3 islands on this list have had no Straw Hats on them. 3 were introduced after the East Blue saga, and with 3 of them being archipelagos, that's a lot of 3s. With over 80 chapters being spent on islands in the East, that makes it home to some of the most relevant islands in the story. But that's only the named islands. Next week, I'll also cover the unnamed islands in the East Blue, on my journey to go through every single island in One Piece. Hope you'll stick around.